All right, and welcome back to the WPF Power Rankings. This is week 5 coming at you. We've had a little bit of a mix-up here at the top, too. We've got the San Antonio Scrubs, who've been clawing for that first spot, finally taking over here in week 5. Had a dominating performance once again against the Farmland Farfetch. We got to see some cool little tech with the chandelier with the metronome. Honestly, I've never seen that item really used. It's always in the battle calculator. Never once used it. Great match. Honestly, we saw more offensive pressure this match than we have in the past. P2 didn't really have to carry the team, it seemed like. So we got a little flashback of last season, a little hyper-offensive type team right here, as he just kind of was able to plow through the Farmland Farfetch. Once he got the Mega Ardino out of the way, you kind of just knew Farmland had lost a bit of momentum there. But honestly, tremendous match. We know this team's been trying to get that #1 spot. Just watch out, try not to lose it. Everyone guns for you now. Just ask the Reunited Kingdom, who are coming in at #2 here. We had a bit of a fall down after playing the new coach in the league against the Miami Manetric, and just unfortunately their opponent was just ready to make a statement. And just as we saw here, the Reunited Kingdom just kind of seemed a little bit out of it. This Focus Blast miss we're about to see right here just kind of took all momentum away from him at that point, and he honestly was just hard for him to catch back up. Surprised not to see Toxapex, it's been there throughout the whole season. Probably not the best matchup against Zygarde, because I really can't blame him for not bringing it. But man, that Uxie there was just tanking hits, and he just didn't have it this week. Not going to hold it against him, though. We're just going to keep him at that #2 spot. And at #3, we have the Midwest Mawile, who may be the hottest team in the league right now, taking on the Madison Machamps. We saw a tremendous onslaught here from the Midwest Mawile. Great use of Empoleon, taking out the Quagsire, kind of taking out a big chunk of that wall there. As we're going to see coming up, Lord Raisin doing what he does best, bringing big things down with the Grass Knot. Weavile also becoming #2 in the kill leader this week after a strong performance this match, able to plow through the Madison Machamps. I'm telling you, Midwest is a team to kind of be on the lookout for as they continue to climb up these rankings in the season. #4, we're going to have the Tennessee Red Gyarados, who have gotten onto a little bit of a hot streak the past couple weeks here. Last week beating Madison, and this week playing against Twin Leaf. And honestly, it was just a pretty strong match this week. Great use of Scarf Lando to kind of pivot around when the time was needed. We get to see a neat little Gyarados kill here. The timing was kind of good here with the Dragon Tail. The substitute, get a little scout to see what was going to happen there. It looks like the Dragon Tail probably would not have broken the sub. But then going for the Z move, love to see my boy get a big kill there with the Fly Z. Honestly, good match by Tennessee. Good use of Rotom here, and like I said earlier, Scarflander is making solid reads throughout, and then Raichu Alola just kind of to clean up. This has been that's a mon that surprised me drafting so far. I've been a fan of using it. It's been enjoyable, just a good match here as we continue to climb up the power rankings, finally getting out of that #6 spot. In at #5, we have the Madison Machamps, who've slid down just a little bit, kind of rough going here the past couple weeks. As this week they're playing the Midwest Mawile, and just honestly this prep just seemed a little off, if I'm being honest. Just not a good match here. It was cool to kind of see. Halucha was kind of in the moment to where it could have gotten some work going. I like to see the Roselli Berry here just to kind of counteract the Comfey, but Madison just in a little bit of a rut. Should be able to turn it around here. He's got a tough outer conference opponent going against the Boston Red Sox here. Battle of the admins once again. And coming in at #6, we have the Indianapolis Volts, who had a dominating performance this week, one that I'm a big fan of. Anytime I get to see a Mega Gyarados, I just can't help but smile, as we're going to see here. Just waits for the right opportunity, knowing that if he lets that Jirachi go down, that he can get in the Mega Gyarados, as we're going to see right here, to set up on the Vaporeon and get that Gyarados set up to go ahead and sweep through the rest of the team. Indianapolis is a team that kind of has been continuing to improve this season. Had a little bit of a rocky first couple weeks. Honestly, strong match right here. We're about to see just pure excellence here. This is why this may be popular opinion is not needed here. The greatest Mega in the game. Gets a +1. It's basically GG. Good work by Indianapolis. All right, and then at #7, we have the Violet City Vileplume, who've kind of dropped down this week from that #5 spot. And Violet City playing against the Milwaukee Stantler, who honestly was in a good spot midway through the match. Had Tapu Fini set up. Probably should have swapped out on the incoming Poison Jab. Probably forgot that Hitmonlee had Poison Jab, so I can't blame him there. But it looked like he was about to get another Kartana sweep here and then pulls out against the Scizor, probably expecting the superpower, so I can't blame him for that. Except for it gives him the chance to go +2 there on the Scizor, which was able to eventually turn through and just plow through the remainder of that team. Not a bad match by Violet City, just kind of had a little things mixed up here and there. Made a trade this week, dumps off Snorlax for, I'm trying to remember, who did we trade here? For Cresselia, so a nice addition there. Probably get a little bit more out of it. Wasn't a big fan of the Snorlax apparently, so next week gonna have a new mon for everyone to prep for. Violet City still in a good spot within the division, within the conference to make the playoffs. We are early as we're getting towards the midway point of the season. Good match there by Milwaukee. And coming in at number 8, we have the Miami Manectric, who have made quite an introduction to themselves to the league, taking over for the Chesapeake Goldex. We had a bit of a name change. We got Brad the Bad 101 there, making a few trades. Drops off Cobalion for Tentacruel, as we saw here. Gets rid of Samurott for Raichu. Rotom-Mow for Uxie, who was a beast this match. We didn't see the Whimsicott come in or the X-Cloud, but honestly was just ready to make a statement week 1 for him in the league, taking on currently at the time the #1 ranked team in the league in the Reunited Kingdom. And just honestly, we're about to see here coming up, this nice Toxic here sets the way to kind of get the drop from blank. Anyways, Florges, who's setting up there. I honestly thought Florges had the match at this point. Kind of forgot about Last Resort, Lopunny, but this is just beautiful. Comes in and is like, hey, faked you out with all this whole thing. Last chance, boom, gotcha. Fake out Last Resort was a nice tech by the new coach. He's facing the Tennessee Red Gyarados next week, so honestly, I hope you don't bring that again, because I'm not looking forward to facing this team. You got a monster set. I think the changes he made from taking over were a nice improvement to the team, and honestly look forward to seeing what this new coach can do. As we've seen in the past, new coaches taking over in the WPF have kind of been on a bit of a, they kind of win the league, it seems like. And all right, coming in at number 9, we've got the Boston Red Sox, who are back at it, got over that 500 mark, and sitting at 3-2. As we see Boston playing a rival here from UPL, WPF. These two go way back. Kronos is still looking for that first win against him. But great use of Zygarde, 10%, a new pickup for the team. Actually, we just saw it go down, but prior to this was doing some work. And we get to see Mega Scizor, Mon. We know this coach has wanted to draft for some time, finally getting to do some stuff right now. As we see the Bullet Punch just kind of powers through the remainder of that team. Not able to get the last KO here, but Mega Scizor is quite a threat. As Boston's starting to pick up a little momentum here, it seems. Gets over that 500 mark, sitting in a good spot in their division. And at number 10, we're going to have the Marlboro Magnetons, who we get to see, I believe we see a Sandslash kill coming up here in just a second. Coming in on the Clef, we got a little name taunt there with the Grand Staraptors on the Staraptor. Kind of like that, let's spice it up a little bit. Interconference play. As we're about to see, Sandslash gets a +2, gets the win against this matchup against the Drifloon. Boom, KO. Cool to see Sandslash get a KO. Throughout the match, we're going to see just honestly tremendous use of Staraptor some more. And then Nidoking really pressuring the remainder of his opponent's team there as we kind of bump him up in the power rankings this week. And then here at number 11, we have the Milwaukee Stantler, who get a nice win against the Violet City Vileplume, making great use. We're going to see more Scissor highlights, only it's the regular version this time. Scares out the Kartana, as we saw earlier in the video, getting the +2, +4. This is able to kind of take down that Mudsdale there. It doesn't take a thing. The trick earlier in the match was nice to get the Mudsdale without its lefties and stuff, so it was able to kind of whittle down the Mudsdale here, but we just see a lot of priority, a lot of power here between the Scizor and the Conkeldurr. So just tremendous match there. Good to see Milwaukee. I saw you in the comments like, hey, I'm going to avenge this season. It's been noted. Good start coming back on this week, getting a nice solid win. And then at number 12, we're going to have the Grand Staraptors, who unfortunately did not have that great of a week 5 match against the Marlboro Magnetons. Just seemed like they didn't really have much for their opponent this week. We do see Mew get another KO here. It's been a pretty good pick this season. It's done rather well, but unfortunately just was not able to withstand the onslaught of Staraptor, Nidoking, just kind of punching through the team. Just really not a good week for the Grand Staraptors, who lost to their signature Mon that the team's named after. But I'm sure as the season kind of comes along, they'll kind of get out of this little bit of rut and kind of pick themselves up and get a couple more wins as the season picks up. We're still only midway through, so we don't know how this is going to turn out. But not a bad season so far. Just maybe if we can change some things here, maybe make a couple trades before the deadline. We'll see if this team can kind of shake it up. And all right, at number 13, we have the Farmland Farfetched, who had a kind of a rough match this week against San Antonio. Never a fun opponent to play. Was caught a little bit off guard by the Metronome, as we saw here earlier. And another tough week for the Farmland Farfetched, who unfortunately just were not ready for this here Metronome play that's about to come in and just kind of ruin this Mega Ardino's day a little bit. Granted, it hadn't Mega Evolved yet, but still, that's not something I would have expected. I do like the sets we've seen from Farmland this season. They've been interesting. It's cool to see that he kind of stuck in there with the Skarmory to Whirlwind out. That's a good play there. The Electros set was pretty nice here, but honestly just wasn't prepared to lose Mega Ardino early, it seemed like, and just kind of after that, momentum was just all in San Antonio's favor. But I'm not too concerned about it. I'll have to look at the standings here like in the next week or so, see if Farmland has a chance to make a run to the playoffs, but it honestly doesn't look like they're too far out of it. It's like they're going to need to get some momentum going, but I think Quaid, he's an experienced battler, can kind of turn this team around just a little bit. He doesn't bring the most conventional sets, which I like to see, so it's always interesting watching his matches. And at number 14, we're going to have the Seattle Skarmory, who have had a little bit of a kind of a tough season so far. Just this team doesn't seem like it fits the coach to the greatest extent, as we have yet to kind of see Mega Charizard X do anything, which that is a tough mon to kind of draft. Celesteela gets the kill later against the Jirachi, but it kind of like sets up the way for the Mega Gyarados sweep. So it just wasn't his best match. First one back from a little bit of a layoff. Sure, we'll be able to get a couple more wins for the season. Maybe make some trades, like I said, for some of the other coaches as the deadline kind of gets a little closer to kind of help bolster this team, kind of tailor it more to him. But just currently as he's sitting, it just doesn't seem like this team is kind of flowing the way he wants it to go. So I would suggest making a couple trades, kind of shake the team up, kind of get it more towards your play style. Maybe drop Zardex. It's kind of a tough mon to use. You're going to have to be worried about rocks all the time, and haven't seemed to do well in draft so far here in the WPF. And here at number 15, we're going to have the Twin Leaf Tynamo, who played against the Tennessee Red Gyarados. Honestly, not a bad match. Pretty solid use of Mega Venusaur to kind of stall that out there at the end, kind of keep him in it, but just at the end wasn't able to really get himself into a position to win. And just unfortunately lost the Goodra early to the Z move. That was honestly one of the tougher mons for Tennessee to break through, it looked like in that match. And then right here, the new addition to the team, Tornadus T, did not get to show out this week, unfortunately. But what's been continuing to be a success has been the use of Mega Venusaur, who has been rather solid this entire season. I think it picked up 3 KOs this week, which is kind of cool to see. Honestly, the set was really tough to break through, it looked like, for Tennessee. It kind of came down to the end. He was never really out of it. But not a bad match. Good prep overall. Probably just a couple reads didn't go his way there. He kind of got read a couple times throughout the match. Losing Tornadus was a bit of an issue there, and then the overheat on the Excadrill early put that thing on a timer. But great use of keeping rocks on the field. That kept him in the game, and I'm sure this season kind of hasn't gone the way he wanted. Still early. Maybe you can kind of claw back in that division just a little bit, make things a little interesting. And then rounding out this week's power rankings, who's probably going to be on the rise, to be honest, based off his play as of late, is going to be Kronos and the Greater and Western Sydney Gladiators. They played Boston very well and was still in it throughout. The Infernape set was kind of cool to see there with the Flame Charge, Acrobatics, just missing out on a little bit of damage, which is kind of a little unfortunate on the Arachnid. But Sylveon put in a lot of work throughout the match. I liked the HP investment. It seemed that the Kyurem, the Sylveon had to be able to take some of those bullet punches and just kind of claw in just a little bit late. As we see, the Kyurem Black here is about to live this bullet punch. So it was good prep by Kronos. He's doing great with the prep. He's been within all the matches. Honestly, feel like he's going to get a win here soon as this play continues to improve, especially compared to seasons in the past. Look forward to seeing him get that first win here soon, but as of right now, we'll see if he can claw his way out of the bottom of the power rankings. Don't be surprised to see this coach kind of, he might fight his way up. It looks like he will. That's going to do it, guys, for Week 5 WPF Power Rankings. Thanks for everyone that got their battles done on time, making this smooth and easy. Your effort is appreciated. Once again, we got YouTube things to do. We got to like, we got to comment, we got to subscribe, do other things, share if we want, probably not. But keep it going, guys. Like I said, good work. We'll see you next week on the WPF.